and welcome back to Gamer Bargains. Today we're going to be looking at another token here, and we're going to do some, I'm going to try this out. I guess you call it like spec mining, or I'm actually going to try to mine this in advance right now as the, network hash rate on this is pretty low. So you get a fair amount of rewards, so you get more of the token, as well as the token is not super valuable right now, but it will have a halving in January of 2022. So I am mining this in anticipation that the price will increase with this halving. So the coin I'm talking about is, of course, going to be Ravencoin. So let's get right into it. So let's switch this over here. Now, this is Ravencore. This is the Raven wallet directly from Ravencoin. I was going to I tried to use my Ledger Nano, but I had some issues. It doesn't actually directly work with Ledger. You have to download this other program called Electrum. And I couldn't get it to work at all. I tried several different times to reinstall it, redo Ledger Live, and all these other things, and it just would not. I just couldn't get it to work. So, if you go to my recent transactions here, so my first payout was yesterday at about 5:16 in the evening, and this is how much Raven I've been getting. So about 10 to 11 Raven. And I've had some issues with downtime because, so with Raven, it is a little more power hungry of an algorithm. So so hopefully in a couple more hours, I'll have one more payout. So I'm probably looking at about 115 to 120 Raven, coins a day, which isn't bad. So let's go to my farm here. And so I have two rigs. I have my main AMD rig, which is my first rig, and this thing is a solid rig. The only time this rig is ever down, and the reason it's only been up for 6 days, is because I update it like once a week when they come out with a few updates, just to keep everything just updated and running smooth. I don't even need to update it because most of the time it's not related to Team Red Miner. So I decided to use my NVIDIA rig, which has one RTX 3070 and 4 1660 supers. So you will see a difference in hash rate because, once again, Ravencoin is on the Kapow algorithm. So you won't be seeing the high hash rates like you would traditionally in Ethereum. Now, as well as, and I had one missed share earlier, so I detuned this card. It was at 110. I turned it down to 100 on the core. Now, I can push these a little bit more, and the only reason that I'm not going to do it is because I have both my miners in one room, and it's on a 15 amp circuit, and right now I'm pulling almost 13 amps, so I'm getting ready to move one of the miners into a different room. So that's one of the other things that you're going to run into as a residential or hobby miner is, unless you have upgraded your breakers or have an additional line put on that is able to carry more current and stuff like that. If you're just running off the 200 amp service in your house, most times you're only going to be able to have one actual decent sized rig and off of one of those breakers, because I'm running two of those right now and I have one box fan in the room, and over the span of about a month the breakers only tripped one. So, but that was before I started doing Kapow, so right now inside a Hive, it's saying I'm doing 520, 519, right? Well, I was only doing like 430 or 410, when I was doing Ethereum on this rig. So I'm consuming almost 100 more watts. So it's putting more strain on the circuit. So I am going to move this to a different room. So that way I could, not be pushing the limits of the particular circuit that it's on. So that's something to keep in mind too when you're operating your miners. So, which this is just what's in Hive. This isn't actually what's on the rig. So it's probably quite more. It's probably, I'm going to guess like 720 is what it actually is. So now my settings on here are pretty basic. Now these right here on your 1660 Supers, here, let me turn off my Steam here. They keep popping up everywhere. Got my buddies playing right now. I had these power limited at 75 watts. Now, on the Kapow, it was limiting these severely. I could actually put these more at upwards of 100, and I could still get more hash out of these. I could get like almost 14 mega hashes out of all these, except for this one. This third one right here seems to be the problem child of the bunch of supers here, where it's not as good. It doesn't have as good of, of the Silicon Lottery right here, because you can see that these are all generally the same, but this one's underperforming. And this one has, it's 68 degrees Celsius, and it's still pulling better mega hashes than this guy. This guy, he's been struggling. But so I'm getting about so right now I have about, I'm getting around almost 80 mega hashes or so, which this rig was getting about 180, like 84 or something like that on Ethereum. So it is quite a bit less, but it's a different algorithm. So I'm using HiveOS to mine to this. I don't ever like mining on Windows. I dislike it. So you can make a flight sheet and you can directly mine this, as long as you make this right here. So you can go to Ravencoin's page, which here we can go to that right here, Ravencoin. And then, yeah, that's what I thought it was, ravencoin.org. And then you just click on wallets, and then, you can use it. So you have a Linux system or a Mac or a Windows, whatever. It looks like they also have maybe support on mobiles as well. And then you just download this. So, but when you go to use this wallet, it is sort of like a node-ish. So it's going to have to sync the headers, and then it's going to have to put it on the most current block. So it took me roughly 3 hours to get all caught up, and it's been fine ever since. So this to me is probably the best wallet for Ravencoin. Ravencoin's pretty limited right now. It's not on Coinbase or Binance or anything. It can only be traded on Trade Ogre. So it's kind of limited where you can move it. But I think that could change in the future. I have read some articles about Ravencoin possibly coming over to Coinbase. So I think if they get a pretty good pump and they stay up there quite a bit, I think that Coinbase will probably pick them up. And it's free. It's simple to use, and this is what I mine too. So after you set up your wallet here, this is the pool I decided to go with. It's the second largest pool because the other one's in China, so I'm obviously not going to send my hash right over to China, but yeah, because I'd have horrible latency. So this is the top American server. So it's a little bit different. So the payout threshold in here is about 10 Raven, and I think it's updated every 2 hours. So once you hit 10 Raven, it'll pay you out. Now and this is my current, so it just gave me that other payout, so I'm at 105 Raven. Now this I'm still not really sure about. I need to do some more research. Block maturation requires 100 new blocks approximately 2 hours, and this is an unconfirmed balance. I don't know if that has to get to 10. I'm not really sure how that works. So now my hash rate, as you can see up here, is pretty good. That's a lot higher than what my rig is actually doing right now, probably because of how many shares it's finding. So you can see here in the chart, which now my miner, because I was kind of dialing in the overclocks, and I did have the overclocks pretty heavy in the beginning, but I think I was having some power issues. I actually had the rig up to like 85 mega hashes, which on what to mine, this said that this rig should only be doing like 70 mega hash. So I'm already doing well beyond what it's rated for. I'm doing about 80. So so this is how much I've gotten over the last 24 hours, because this is included. So this is the super breakdown. So it's It's pretty good. It's really easy to use. And on Hive OS, they already have two. When you go to make your flight sheet, 'cause I'm not going to go on my flight sheet, but when you go in your flight sheets, they already have two miners set up with the US server. So the only thing you really do is you need to download this and make your Raven wallet. And then after that, you're golden. So let's come over here to, what to mine. Everybody's favorite site here. And I already have my 4 1660 supers, my 13070, and I already put in 80. And that's about what it's doing. So we'll say okay. So as you can see, because I tweaked and overclocked this, because actually the Ravencoin was somewhere down here as far as, profitability, I'm actually doing pretty good. So estimated rewards should be about 122, 111. It's going up and down. It was a little less yesterday, so it's a little more today. So we're still profiting about almost $7 a day after electric, which my electric, I put it up, I bumped it because I have off demand and on demand now because I live in Arizona and I no longer live in Washington. So I have different electric until I can get my solar going. So, and then here, you want to go to, all right, guys. So on the Ravencoin, network here, this is the overall hash rate, and this is over the span of the last year, right? So, this is June 5th of last year, right? We're just 3 terahash, 2, 1, 1. And then in the beginning of the year, look, it got a big pump right around, looks like the 19th of February. So, well, I would say the 11th it started. And then, yeah, over here in March, this is the peak, 11.5 terahashes. So it was well up there. And so now the network hash rate, we're down to under 5, right? So the hash rate is lower, which means the difficulty will be less, which means that we'll get more of the actual token. So I'm hoping in anticipation of the halving in, the start of next year, I'm going to get a little bit of a head start, try to build me up a little bit of a nice, stash of Ravencoin. And that way, maybe during the halving, that we can maybe get some really good profits, especially if it gets up to, man, like $1. That would be amazing. We definitely make some killer money then. So yeah, that's my plan. Is I am planning on mining partly Ravencoin, and I'm still gonna do Ethereum. And I know this isn't usually what I do. Usually I just mine the most profitable, which is always Ethereum right now. But profitability is still good for Ethereum, but it wasn't as good as it was about a month ago, which was insane. But I want to try to maybe, since all my rigs are paid off now, and I don't really have any, I don't have to pay myself back or anything like that. They've already returned their investment. The gear's paid for. The only thing I pay for is electric. I want to try, one small risk and see if this mining in advance will pay itself off in the future. So maybe I could, make other, try other things like that and try to make predictions in the future and see if those will pay out. And because that's the name of the game, is you want to mine and hold, right? Because you want to mine when the network hash rate is low and the difficulty is low, because you get more of the token. Because as you can see, this hash rate right here, when it follows, this is right when it peaked at like 28-30 cents for one Raven, right? And this is when it was down to like a nickel. So it wasn't worth anything, right? So then it come up here, boom, boom, boom. The hash rate followed, and then as soon as the profitability kind of went down a little bit, right? Everybody started slowly coming off, and then it just dropped. And it's been on a slow downward, slope, which I'm guessing that some of the people decided to stay because they know that the halving is coming in the near future. So they're trying to build up a nice little sack of Ravencoin as, for themselves too. So I'm going to get on that train and I want to see how it's going to do. So anyways, guys, these are my thoughts. I'm going to do a video on Ravencoin and HiveOS and how to mine it. That'll be coming up in the future. I will also set up another video on how to, install and work your Ravencore, so that way you can have your Ravencoin wallet. And then I might be doing another review on the Ledger Nano S, because so far right now I'm super disappointed with it. So I've used it for quite a while now, and now it's starting to have some issues, and so far there's no way of fixing them. So yeah, guys, that's kind of what's coming up for the future. If you guys have any questions or you guys want a video, leave them in the comments down below. And once again, thank you for everyone who subscribed. We're over 100 now. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.